Hi friends, in this session of ratio and proportion we study about the proportion. First I would like to define the proportion. The equality of two ratios is called proportion. If we have two ratios A over B and C over D and we show their equality, we put the equal sign between them, so then it is called the proportion. Now I explain in detail. If A over B is equal to C over D, then A, B, C and D are said to be in proportion, and we write A is to B as C is to D. So we could write in this way the proportion, and each term of ratio is called a proportional. So the each term of these ratios are called the proportional. Here A, B, C and D are respectively the first, second, third and fourth proportionals. Here AD are known as extremes, so I explain you here. Now I explain this in detail. A is to B as C is to D. This we have a proportion, and in this proportion look at A and D are called extremes, and B and C are called means. One important thing is here that if we simplify this A over B, A over B is equal to C over D. As per the arithmetic rule, we cross multiply D with to A and B with C. So we get this thing in this way. AD is equal to BC. So here you see the product of extremes is always equal to the product of means. So this is the important rule of proportional. The product of extremes is always equal to the product of means. Now we take one example. Here we have a proportion. We have to make the ratios in proportion, where the proportion is given 5 over 8 is equal to x over 12. Now we have to find out the x. What would be the x here? So we have the simple rule we will follow here. The product of extreme is equal to product of means, or we could cross multiply 12 with 5. 5 into 12 over 8 is equal to x. Now we simplify this for 2 times, for 3 times. Finally we get here x is equal to 5 3 times 15 over 2, so which is 7.5. So the value of x is 7.5. In this way we could find out the required proportional whenever asked in this way we could find out the required proportional whenever asked in any sort of questions. Now I would like to tell you about the continuous proportion. In the last session, we have studied about the continuous ratio. As I explain here again, now I tell you about the continuous proportion. The proportion obtained through continuous ratio is called continuous proportion. So I again write here the continuous ratio. A is to B is to C. If we have to convert this continuous ratio into proportion, so what we will do, I explain here. We will write in this way. This is our first proportional A, B is the mean proportional and C is the third proportional. So we repeat the mean proportional in this whenever we convert this continuous ratio in the continuous proportion. So we write in this way. A is to B as B is to C. So we could write in this way again. we could write A over B is equal to B over C. If we simplify this arithmetically, so we get here B into B, which is B square, we multiply C with A, cross multiply, which is AC. So the square of mean proportional is equal to the product of first and third proportional in a continuous ratio. So in this way we could find out any required proportional if you have to find out in any question. So we could find it out as I write here. We have a 4 is to x is to 9. So we have to find out x. So we could find out this way: B square is equal to AC, means x square is equal to 4 into 9. So here you see it is 36, and finally we get x is equal to 6. So this is our mean proportional if we have to find out, or if you have to find out the first proportional or the third proportional, you could follow this method. So this is all about the continuous proportion. Now I tell you about the rules of proportions. First rule is componendo. Componendo means adding 1 to both sides of proportion. If we have a proportion A over B is equal to C over D is a proportion, then A over B is equal to C over D implies that A plus B over B is equal to C plus D over D. So how we get this, I explain you. We have a proportion A over B is equal to C over D. Adding 1 both the sides. So we get here A over B plus 1 is equal to C over D plus 1. Now we take the LCM on both the sides. So on the right side we get the LCM. Finally we get here LCM B. So it is A plus B over B, and here we get the LCM D. So it is C plus D over D. So we could write this A over B is equal to C over D in this way. A plus B over B is equal to C plus D over D. So this is our componendo rule. Now I explain you about the dividend rule. It is just opposite of componendo. Here we subtract 1 from both the sides. So if A over B is equal to C over D is a proportion, then A over B is equal to C over D implies that A minus B over B is equal to C minus D over D. So because we have A over B is equal to C over D, subtract 1 from both the sides. So we get here A over B minus 1 is equal to C over D minus 1. If we take the LCM of both the sides, so here on the left side we get the LCM B, so it is A minus B. On the right side we get the LCM D, so here we get C minus D over D. So this is our dividendo rule of proportion. Now the next one we study about the componendo and dividendo rule. The ratio of componendo and dividendo is called the componendo dividendo, because we know that the componendo is A plus B over B is equal to C plus D over D. We know this thing. And again we know that, change the color here, we know that A minus B over B is equal to C minus D over D. So if we have to find out the componendo and dividendo, so this is our first equation and this is our second equation. We divide the first equation by the second equation, so we get in this way: A plus B over B over A minus B over B is equal to C plus D over D divided by C minus D over D. If we simplify this, we get here B and B will eliminate, because in this complex fraction you see B is in the denominator of numerator and denominator both, so it will eliminate each other. Finally we get here A plus B over A minus B is equal to C plus D over C minus D. So this have been proved. Now the component and dividend we could get in this way. Now the next fourth is the invert endo, and the last one is alternando. So I explain you about the alternando. The reciprocal of a proportion is known as invert endo. The reciprocal, if A over B is equal to C over D is a proportion, then the A over B is equal to C over D implies that B over A is equal to D over C. We just have to reciprocal both the ratio. We have to take the reciprocal of both the ratio. So A over B is equal to C over D. If we have to find out the invert endo of this, so we get B over A is equal to D over C. So in this way we could find it out. Alternando is the last one. If we interchange the second and third proportions is called alternando. So second proportion is B and the third proportional is C. So we interchange this. So we get here A over B is equal to C over D is equal to A over C is equal to B over D. So we interchange it this way. A over B is equal to C over D. So we interchange this. So we get here finally A over C is equal to B over D. So this all are the rules of proportion we have studied. We have studied the componendo, dividendo, dividendo, then invertendo and alternando. These rules we have studied. We have studied about the proportional. We have studied about the extremes and means and the continuous proportion in this session. Thank you.